This comparative histogram looks at a product being used by both female and male. You will notice different usages at different stages in life. I've asked my students what they thought that product was and received a number of possibilities. One of those is deodorant. Now, I don't know what it is, and I really don't care, but let's compare the usage. To do this, note that in column B, we made one of the series negative. Let's start by selecting our data, A1 through C8, and then we want to insert a clustered bar. So we come over here, and here's a clustered bar. So I'll say OK. And this is the basis that we'll use for our chart. The first thing that bothers me is that some of these are negative. We really want them to show positive on our chart. So I'll click on the horizontal axis, and we'll go over here and look at the number and format it the way we really want it. A 0 just formats everything as positive or negative %. But we're going to change the negative and the positive so they both have a positive value. To do this, we use the 0%, semicolon, 0%, semicolon, 0%, and then add that. Now you'll notice that the values are positive going in both directions. The vertical axis here is right in the middle of our data. Let's move that out. So I go to Labels, Label Position, and remember we can move it low. We'll move it off to the left or down. There, that looks a lot better. And we can bold it while we're at it. We might as well bold this bottom one at the same time. Okay, now we need to work with our series. Notice they kind of offset each other, and we want them to line up exactly, and we want to fill that area without any gap in between. So I'll come over here and say series overlap is 100%. You don't have to put in the percent. It'll already do that for you. And I'll put the gap as 0. Now that looks a lot better. Next, we want to give a 3D effect to the data. So with one series selected, I'm coming over here and saying let's do a fill as gradient fill. Oh, but it's going left to right. We want up and down, so instead of angle 0, I'll put it in as 90%. That looks a lot better now. Let's do the left color is a very light blue. The middle color would be a moderate blue or medium blue. I'll pick something like this. And the bottom we could leave as black, or let's make it a really dark blue. That gives that nice 3D effect to it. We also need to do this with the female side. So clicking on there, I'll come over here and put gradient and change those to be the left one. Let's make it probably a real light or a white to begin with. The bottom one I'll put as a dark pink. And I'm only going to need one of these middle ones, so I'll pull it into the middle and put it as the lighter pink. There, and that gives a very nice 3D effect for our chart. Now we will move our legend outside the chart. So its outside is correct, top right, and let's pull it down a little bit here. But we have this big gap up above because the chart title is above it. So I will click on chart title area. Let's click this off. And we'll make a centered overlay. And let's change that title. And at the same time, I will bold it and make it a little bit larger. Maybe something like that. Next, we need labels for our different axes. So click on the chart and axes titles. If I click on that, I get one for each. That's exactly what I want. So I'll come down here and put in % who use the product regularly. And I'll bold that. And on the right, I will put in age group and bold it. Next, we remove the outside line on this chart. If your format doesn't come up, I click on here, and that was a right click in order to bring up that option to format, and I'll say no border. Now our chart looks quite a bit like the way we want it. We could change the size of fonts or move things around, but we've got that comparative histogram. Let's go to the next tab.